Welcome back, Eternal Dragon here, and we have an update to Skeletal Barrage, our very first Blightcaller build. Well, guess what? Chaos 100 and good to go. So we're going to take you through the demo, and then I'll meet you after, and we can go on through the build. But before we do that, please like, comment, subscribe. You guys rock. See you after this. So, as you can see, we're Chaos 100, good to go. Now, we have changed up the main weapon. This time around, we are going with just a purple gun, a snowballing pushpin, Soot Cough. A Soot Cough, that is what this weapon actually is. So when you're looking to farm one up, it is a Soot Cough. Now, ours is 803 damage times 5 with a magazine size of 1. So this is actually a masher style crossbow, as you can see, with the additional crossbows or crossbolts all shot out all at once. And the reason, of course, we want that many bolts is, of course, so we can try to hit crits right away, all the time, and get our Geists going. They are going to be a phenomenal source of damage in the build, going to be hitting from 2 to 3 million damage most times with them. Although when you just fire off your first one before you get going, maybe about 500,000 damage. But good stuff, good stuff. And of course, those are a huge trigger for our Plague Storm. Now on this build, you can also use the Bog Totem. You can also use Barrage, or if you want to, you can even go Blizzard. Now, the Plague Storm is the best action skill in the game, so this is the one we went with for maximum damage, especially while bossing. But all 4 of the action skills will be viable with this build. Now, other weapons that we have here on the build are just added on just for fun to use. So, we've got the quest reward here, the Goblin Repellent. And then we have 2 Deodants. We got some Spore Explosion action here if you want to try out some Spore Explosion stuff. That could be hard to say with the Pixies. Or you can here just go with your Pixies doing regular extra damage. And, these can do pretty good stuff. But we are looking at using this, the Soot Cough, because it is tons of fun, and it ricochets your crossbolts like crazy because we are also using the Barbalode, which has the additional chance to fire our attached crossbolts to nearby enemies. And in addition, we've also capped out on Play the Angles over here on the Spore Warden side, giving us even more chance to ricochet our projectiles. Now, our primary enchantment that we are going to be using for our primary gun is the on action skill start, increased damage by 20%. and you can trigger this pretty much with anything that you do here. So choose your action skill wisely. Of course, I do like that Plague Storm myself. Over here, now we are using the Snake Stick because we are also using the Brutal Stampede. And so you can see the abilities on the armor here. You get increased ability damage and critical hit chance for each companion the Fatemaker has. And every time you melee attack with this weapon, you make another companion. So if you want to boost yourself up without even using your Buffmeister, hit a few enemies with this, make a few Hydra companions, and trigger your armor's additional boosts. So, of course, this also has, on spellcast, increased damage by 15% for 10 seconds, so altogether we've got all damage 35% there. And with 2 charges over here on our Buffmeister, this can be up pretty much at all times. Our rings that we are going to be using, we are doing an ability damage ring and a gun damage ring. The Shark's Bane can roll double gun damage, so we have taken one of those, a double gun damage roll Shark's Bane. 52.6% damage. And then this one also has additional critical hit damage for pistols, which we are using here. And the action skill cooldown rate, which will help with that Plague Storm cooldown. Now, this one here is a fingertip pulse. It gives you, when your health is less than 50%, your effects are increased by 50%, so a little bit of extra ability critical hit damage there, and pistol critical hit damage. So if you do have your shield broken, you do take a bunch of damage. Guess what? It just amps up your damage a little bit more while that's down. And that can help make up for the little bit of extra damage that you lose here if you break your shield. Flawless Edge, of course, increasing your damage while your ward is full. We are using a body rune so that when we kill enemies, we restore 15% of our maximum health and get 20% additional bonus fire damage. Just get a bunch of extra fire damage there ricocheting around to all of our enemies. And of course, we talked about, we got this Brutal Stampede. Now it's got 2 in Geist, 2 in Wrath of Nature, and 1 over here into Affinity. So we've got ability damage getting boosted here. Again, when you trigger your ability damage goes up. And then we have your Geists in the Shell here, which are doing ability damage, so they're getting boosted by both of those other skills. And the armor's pretty sick here as well, with area, gun, and ability damage. Now, if you can get one with +3 to Wrath of Nature, you might actually do even better. I couldn't get one, but we have what we have. Now, here we have that Barbaload I pointed out. It is Blightcaller power to make our Plague Storm stronger, and poison damage to boost up, of course, the poison damage here, and that's getting boosted again. And then our AoE damage raining down from the Plague Storm is also poison status effect damage, so you want to boost up poison with this build. Get lots of extra damage there. We have a poison Buffmeister on spellcast, increasing your gun damage by 30%, so that's just increasing all those extra shots that we are doing. Because again, this skill, as you can see, it is Bog ability spirit damage, but it is your gun critical hits that cause this chance. And so you want to be doing as much gun damage as possible when you create those skulls to make them do even more damage. And that's how we're getting about 2-3 million damage a skull as they're going on in and hitting the enemies. So moving over to skills, we can see we are a Spore, Warden, Blightcaller. We've got our Mushroom Companion and Whisper of Rot. Of course, anytime we apply a status effect damage, increasing our elemental damage for a short duration, we're going to be doing a ton of elemental damage. And with the Body Rune and all of our poison boosting, even though our weapon itself is non-elemental, we will be applying status effect damage all the time. Going down the actual skill trees, over here on the left, we've got 4 out of 5 into Bounty of the Hunt to give us that increased action skill cooldown rate. And then Eagle Eye, we're doing a bit more gun damage, but moving down to Bullseye, we're increasing our gun critical hit chance as far as we can, so that we can get Geist in the Shell to trigger as often as possible. 6 out of 5 over here in Affinity, boosting up the ability damage, again like we said, boosting up the damage Geist is going to do. And then we put the 1 in Medicinal Mushroom, because you always want your Mushroom Bro to be able to get you back up if you get knocked down. 3 out of 3 here in Windrunner to bring up our fire rate and movement speed. That's really nice with the Sutkoff. It's not the fastest firing weapon, but with the Buffmeister and Windrunner, you can fire it off pretty darn quick. Now, of course, we want our gun damage boosted really high, so your critical hits. And you know, we are going to get additional critical hit chance here, but you do want to hit your crits as well for the additional gun damage. Boom! even bigger skulls here from Geist in the Shell. And of course, once you do your ability and it does ability damage to something, boom, even more damage going to be coming in from those Geists, as they will be your enemies will be taking increased ability damage. And of course, this too, dealing ability damage with your ricochets, getting that boost as well. So some pretty fun synergies there. And then going over to the Blightcaller side, of course, the 7 out of 5 to Geist in the Shell. And we put 1 into Wraith Mail here so that you can fill up your shield by killing enemies, and then 2 out of 5 here, so when your shield is full, you are in fact doing more damage. It's not the main place you're going to get your damage from, but it does give you some extra. 5 out of 5 here, boosting up the poison damage that we are going to be doing with our skills, like we pointed out before. And then weapon swapping, just to increase our fire rate. Now, you get a basic fire rate boost here, but every time you swap your weapon, it increases even further. And again, that is pretty nice with the Soot Cough, as it is a fairly slow firing weapon standardly. Finally, going 3 out of 3 here into Burnt Offering, whenever we apply a fire status effect. Thank you, Body Rune Shield. We get extra gun damage and spell cooldown rate, helping us get our Buffmeister shield back even faster. Max stacks 3 here, so that's a bunch of extra gun damage as well. Looking at our hero points, going 48 out of 40 into strength here, just to get our critical hit damage up. 30 out of 40 in dexterity for a higher critical hit chance, but with our skills over on the other side here. I feel like we only needed that 30 out of 40 so that we could focus a little bit more of our points here into Wisdom, get some status damage, and then a few more points over here into Attunement just to get our action skill back even faster. Now, our Myth rank is up to 1142, but you see I still haven't spent any. Oh yeah, so Chaos 100, Still haven't spent any into it. We're keeping ourselves at that 1 level so that we can keep the builds feeling fairly standard. I'm sure everyone's going to get to about 1,000 Myth rank as they spend time playing the game and enjoying it, so I feel it's a good spot to leave it. So anyway, that's the build, and I hope you have an absolutely great time playing this one. Skeletal Barrage is back in its Chaos 100, friends, with a brand new weapon and one that we haven't focused on before. So super duper happy to bring that to you and have some fun with another purple weapon as our main gun for a build. So thanks for watching the video, friends, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe like we said before, but it really helps if you do that. And apparently if you hit that little ding bell, it'll tell you when the next video comes up, so push that thing too. Until next time, happy gaming.
I come flexing with style and mad skills, like my name was Eternal Dragons, gameplay and builds. So come get your fill, cause you paying the bill. The conflict's critical, situation real. I'm a pop, I'm let it rock, those mark, old school 360 like an Xbox, make it hot. What you got, gonna give me go right? I'ma watch my watch as I watch you fly, slowing down my lyrics for